welcome.
Thank you.
Hello. That laugh.
You will get a lot more of that love.
Yeah.
I want to let you introduce yourselves and just tell us what's your passion and why do you feel like this is the right time to get your message out there?
Okay, am I number one to
Yes.
go? Awesome. I'm Pungi Baloi. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. A lover of life. I am a 2-time breast cancer survivor. And that's where my passion, my calling is. I didn't choose it, it chose me. I lived a life that didn't have purpose before cancer. And much as it was not nice, it has given my life purpose, and that's all I'm passionate about.
Wow.
Mostly what I'm living for besides my family.
Wow. Shanae?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a deep intro.
Yes, no, definitely. I'm Shanae Blackway. I'm a mother, a wife. I am also your favorite baddie. I'm joking. Yes, so I'm definitely also going to be a 2-time cancer survivor soon. I am a corporate baddie. I love life. I love life. I love the fact that I can be here and, just surround myself with amazing people. I'm passionate about being an activist for not only cancer, but also women empowerment. And definitely, God is definitely my number one passion as well. So, yes, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Macy Mutaung. I'm unfortunate, or maybe fortunate, not to have it twice, like my friends. I'm a cervical cancer survivor. And I love life, an LGBTQI activist. The reason for me to be here is that I just want to be the change that I want to see. I think this is the right time for it to happen.
All right, so take us through the first time that you discovered that you had cancer. When you got the news. What was that day like? Do you remember? You can start with.
I remember it was on a Thursday. It was on a Thursday. No, it was on a Friday, not Thursday. I remember I had some challenges before, whereby I was raped and got infected with HIV. So I was dealing with that in my own way. And after being diagnosed with HIV, I got pulmonary TB. Then having cancer was too much for me. So I had challenges where every time when I have to go to my periods, they're so smelly and abdominal pains too. So I went to the doctor, it's Dr. Maliti in Mabopane. Then he did pap smear, then said, if there's anything wrong, I'll give you a call. I relaxed. On Thursday or Friday, I received a call. It was around about past 4 because he was knocking off at 5 o'clock. He said, where are you? I said, no, I'm just at home. He requested me to come to the surgery urgently. So I started to be scared. Why so urgently? Because he was knocking off at 5 o'clock. Then I took a taxi, rushed to the surgery. When I get there, he had tears in his eyes because he felt that it was too much for me. I could see that when he was talking to me, that I didn't call you for anything, but I wanted to sit down. He gave me water. Then he says, how are you dealing with the situation? I said, which situation? Being a rape survivor, HIV and TB. I said to him, this is a lot. Tell me the news. Then said to me, you've got cervical cancer on the uterus. Then I started to cry. Then he begged me not to cry. He cancelled me and said I need to go to hospital, as in the following day. Then I went to hospital. Then that's where everything started to fall. But
Goodness.
it was a lot for me. But now I can laugh with it. I can laugh about it because it's something of the past. And for me or for us to share our stories, we become the healing remedies to other other people who are in the same position as us.
Have you talked to someone who just found out they have cancer?
A lot.
Or recently? What was the message that you say?
There's the life after everything if you follow the right precautions and have hope. Because remember, I said I want to be the change that I want to see. So in our situations, we give hope to the hopeless. So we always give hope. Those ones who take our message, they are the ones who, at the end of the day, becomes winners. So as a survivors, we've got a lot who we talk to, especially sharing your journey to someone who is in the same problem that you once faced. It becomes so easy.
Oh. Shane, do you remember your first time?
My
The first time
of
you heard
what?
the news, yeah. Hey.
Where are you going? Where's your mind?
The first podcast that I did, yeah. No, I remember it like it was yesterday. Mine was actually a year ago, and I remember it as something that I must say I was very calm. I was also very, very oblivious to the reality of what is going to happen, because like many people, you hear cancer and then you think to yourself, but I'm healthy. So whatever they're going to give me, I'm going to be healthy. Because when I went into my doctor's office, I was recovering from surgery. So I had surgery 7 days prior to my diagnosis. So I had been at this stage where I was actually relieved to a point because I was misdiagnosed 5 times. So for me, it was more of, at least we know what the answer is now. But at the same time, I was mourning this thing that has killed so many of my family members. So when that happened to me, I was just like, yo, okay. So I was actually at home. I just got out of the shower and my phone was ringing, and then I answered my phone and I went to hubby and I was like, oh, the doctor just called. But the tone of the lady's voice in the office was just like so stressed, I think we need to teach them better. Yeah. That's one of my goals, definitely. Because what if I was not...
You mean teach the doctors?
No, like whoever relays the message or phones you.
Yes.
I think that is one thing that's very common in this group or anyone that you would go out to. Just by that phone call, you know that there's something wrong, And I'm not saying you should lie to me or not tell me the truth, but you need to know that wherever I am, I need to get to you. And what if my husband was not there? Because not everyone has the support that we have, right? So if you are, example, alone and you just got that call, I would have not been able to drive myself to that doctor's office because it's like 10 Ks from my house. So I would definitely say I could hear in her voice that there was something wrong. And my husband was so stressed because he's like, you are such a positive person. You are always telling me to not be negative. And on our way there, we arguing in the car because I'm telling him there's something wrong. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, if you had heard the tone of her voice, you would have known that there's something wrong. And to top it all off, we came into a surgery where it was packed because this man is very busy. For some reason, unless you go to the situation, you wouldn't know. But when someone is fighting cancer, you would see that those places are the fullest. There's always patients in there.
Is it?
Oncology centers, surgeries, that is a place where you will find most people. You will be shocked. I never knew that there's so many people in an oncology center. Especially, you should go there now. It's always lines. So we went in, and I know the process by now because, like I said, I had surgery before that. Obviously, I consulted with the doctor before that as well. And this doctor was just basically like, he saw me and you could see like, you were so down, And also with me, like me also, I'm extra. So if you're not going to greet me extra, I'm going to think something is wrong. And as we're sitting in the room, there's older people. Obviously, I'm always the youngest in the group. And the first person that he called into the office was Shanae Blackway. And you know me, fashionably late. Okay, I wasn't late. They said come and I went, But I was just shocked that out of everyone, I get to go first, So obviously this meant urgency. So already I'm on 0 when I get into the office. And, I'm at the prime of my life. I just lost my aunt. But also things are going well for me, I have so many dreams for 2023. And then, like you say, you walk in. even if they don't know you, they become teary-eyed, right?
Yeah.
He pulled my chair out, which he didn't do before that. So again, me just overthinking. And we sat down and he looks at my husband and I and he says, unfortunately, it's cancer. And both of us are just looking at each other like, what? You know, we were so shocked because at the same time, we didn't expect it because of my lifestyle. But it was something that it feels like a part of you leaves. And I was looking at it the other day. I'm yet to find that part of me. Like that carefree person. You know, I look at my pictures and I'm like, before cancer, you had this window in your mind that you just didn't care about life. You know, you feel like you have purpose, but now it's different. You wake up differently. And yes, it's a replacement of it, but there's a small part of me that misses that person, you know? So that's how my diagnosis went.
No, you find that person.
Oh, definitely.
How was yours?
So my first time. I also remember the day. It was a Monday. It's like, and that's like 2007, mind you. That's like years ago. So they called me on a Saturday, like Shanae said. I mean, why call me on a Saturday to come and see the doctor on Monday? Couldn't you wait for, like, obviously that thing already just rattles you. So the receptionist called me on a Saturday. I was home in Mafikeng. And she said, please come in, your results are back. You have to come and see the doctor on Monday. And at that time, I already knew in my mind, in my head. And why I say I knew is because of when I went for my mammogram. People were coming in and leaving, and like older women. They come in, they do the mammogram, they leave. They come in, they do the mammogram. For me, I do my mammogram, they say, okay, sit in another room. 2 minutes later, they come back, no, we have to do another one. And then, we have to do a scan. We have to already, I was starting to feel nervous. Alarm bells started ringing. And so when they called on a Saturday, I was like, okay. But I was trying to stay positive. I remember sitting in a car. I was at a funeral with my friends. And I told my friend, like, this phone call is nonsense. Sorry to use the word.
Okay.
I know it's just bringing, like, misery into my life. So I went on a Monday. It was packed. I sat. They didn't call me in quickly. I waited for my turn. Sat there, waited. And when I got in, I sat in front of my doctor. Really young doctor, Lebu. Beautiful girl. And the first question she asked me is there a history of cancer in your family?
That's basically telling you why
she's
you're
telling
there.
me that you have cancer. She says, yeah, your results came back. You've got metastatic cancer. And yeah.
Were you alone in the meeting?
I was alone. Mind you, I was at work. So I drove myself from work. I told my boss I have to go for my doctor's appointment. Left work, drove to the doctor's. Now I have to drive back to the office because I left my laptop, everything at the office. I sat in the car for probably more than an hour, just bawling my eyes out, crying. I couldn't drive myself home. Tried calling my husband. He was in training, so he couldn't pick up his phone. My parents live in Mafikeng, like far away. My siblings, they're all at work. So I called my husband's manager then at the time, and I told him. But he said, just sit there until you feel fine, and then you can drive yourself home. And that's what I did. And another friend that I called was Fezi, the late Fezi. She also had cancer. So she was one of the first people after calling my mom. My mom didn't pick up. I called Fezi. And I told her, she was already not well at the time as well. But I thought she would understand what, I was going through. And I eventually drove myself home. And the funny thing on that day is I'm named after my grandmother,
Alright.
Rebecca Butshadi Moleko. One of my friends was back home, and she went to the graveyard to put flowers in one of her family members' thing. And then she calls and says, "Hey, I almost had a heart attack. I'm walking here and I see your name on a stone." It's the same day I got told I have cancer. You know?
Yeah.
I was
Talk
like,
about bedtime.
you know, like,
No,
okay.
amazing timing. That was like,
Obviously, you know, like,
yeah.
not that I'm dying.
No, if
That
your
my grandmother is-
it's her grandmother was
Because
right there.
when you mentioned tombstone, if that had happened to me, I'd be thinking, is this a sign?
It's deep. It's deeper than
It's
you
deeper,
think.
and I was
It's
very
not the
close
flesh
with
No,
my.
please explain it. I need to get this.
Yeah.
Explain what?
Why it was a significant coincidence.
It's not a coincidence.
Okay. It's not-
Use
Okay,
your
let me
that's
use
how-
my
use your
yeah.
language, 'cause
I
want
was
to
okay
get
at first it was like, yo, is this that I'm going to die? Like, you know, already there's a stone waiting for me,
Yeah.
you know?
Like,
That was like my first thought. But because I was very close to my grandmother, you know, for me it was like, she is with me, you know,
Yeah.
no matter what, this woman is with me.
Yeah.
So no need to panic and whatever. So that's basically what.
No, now I get
Yeah, no, I also get what you're saying. To say the first thought would be to be scared, as my friend was. She was like, "What's happening?" You know. So yeah.
So what have you ladies learned about processing bad news? Because that is bad news on another level. In hindsight, looking at how you processed it and how you've helped others process when they hear such news, what's the big thing that you've learned?
Sure. It's not an easy process, especially the first time hearing something like that. For me, negative things come first. Those are the first things that come to you. You're gonna die. You're gonna, you know, all these negative things come. But with time, you learn to. I think acceptance. That's one of the biggest things for me. Just accepting the situation for what it is, and what we're doing here, talking about this. Because for me, that was one of my biggest saviors, to hear other people talking like, no, cancer, I survived, I had chemo or whatever, and I'm here and I look at this person like there's no sign of sickness, and I'm like, okay, that means it's possible. I can also get healed, you know. So, and I think that's the reason why we keep doing what we're doing, because we know what it has done for us, and we want to pay it forward and inspire other people too. It's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to feel scared and weak sometimes. It's not like every day you are like, I've got this. No, there are down days when you feel like, okay, today I feel sorry for myself. I'm going to cry. I'm going to, you know. And there are other days you wake up, most days it's like, no, I've got this. And we pray. Shanae spoke about God. I'm a God-fearing person, and I get on my knees, I pray, and that's what gets me through my tough days.
Okay.
Yeah.
What gets you through, Shanae?
I would say with the whole processing thing and how to deal with the negative news is one thing that I will say will differ from person to person, right? Not everyone is going to take it the same way. For many, it's like she's not afraid. But for me personally, I already processed it in my mind, right? So I always think of the worst case scenario. And I think that goes back to the childhood traumas of many people, right? So if you don't expect much won't excite you, you know? That is the truth of how I had to deal with it. But we also have to consider the fact that not everyone believes in God. Not everyone shares the same faith. So in my line of helping others, I need to consider the fact that I'm not them. So how do you deal with things when you bump your toe, when you argue with your boyfriend? Is different from how I would handle it, because what's big to you is not big to me, you know. So when it comes to hearing something like you are diagnosed with cancer, we need to not forget that not everyone starts off as strong, because you hear it for the first time and we've heard it before. We've seen people that has gone through it only because we went through it. So before that, you will not speak to breast cancer or cancer activists for fun, you know. So I would definitely say when someone hears something negative, I allow them to feel whatever they need to feel. But I also tell them that there will be a time where you will have to either speak to someone or speak to yourself to bring yourself towards yourself. Because when it comes to something like this, for others it might be a big deal, but also we cannot always compare our situations. You know, we are fortunate, we are blessed, and there are other peoples that has it at a later stage where the early detection stage is past and they go through a lot worse than what we go through. So you need to consider that whether you are going to place hope into someone's mind, the worst case scenario is always possible, you know. And I always tell people it's not about dying, it's about your quality of life. And you can't die before you die, you know. You know the famous quote. So regardless of what you hear, choose to wake up every day in love, because you never know what tomorrow holds. I've buried so many people since I was diagnosed, and none of them had cancer. People that prayed for me and that was there for me. And I'm still here, you know. So if I had consumed my entire being around me dying from cancer, what purpose would that serve me?
Stop living.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Nice. I'm actually curious to hear your answer as well, considering your news came when you had a few other prior challenges.
You know, it depends on how do you receive them. And there are those times when you feel, as Pung has indicated, that a cry moment. Don't deprive yourself to cry. If you have to cry, you need to cry so that you can loosen up. Like you, after getting my news myself, I got angry. I had a lot of anger, and I was unable to talk to a lot of people because remember, by that time stigma and discrimination was so high, and people are going to judge me, cancer, TB, and all those stuff. So I was so angry as to why did that day did I not change direction, like trying to reverse back and check what went wrong. You understand? And hence I'm saying everything happens for a reason. If not me, then who? And if not now, then when? So I always tell myself that my arms are always open to give someone a hug of hope, because I was comforted by God. So I need to take that comfort and give it to someone else so that hope can be more.
Okay, so with what you ladies are saying, has there been people that came with good intentions, said some things that made things worse for you? Sometimes people come and they think they're trying to help, but what they're saying is just going sideways.
My brother died last week from cancer. I get it every day. Yeah.
Someone said that.
Yeah, shame. Obviously, I always tell myself, someone taught me to also not take offense a lot. And that was a struggle in itself, because I still had things that I needed to heal from before cancer. But one common thing that I usually tell people, and I now know that it does not come from a bad place, you know. And that's why I even tell like people that I speak to, and people always say, don't say that to her, she doesn't speak, because I don't entertain negativity a lot. But someone passing away and someone sharing that with me is not a negative thing, you know. I know a lot of people takes offense, and you know, when you hear that someone has just passed, especially if you haven't worked through a lot of your stuff, then you're just like, oh, you know, people fear death. People fear speaking about people that has passed. And that is one part of me that I don't fear. You know, from a very young age, I've always felt comfort in knowing that the people that went before me are right beside me. So I think it differs from person to person. But myself, I always tell people, do not get offended easily, because your life is going to change drastically. But people always say, yeah, so-and-so passed away, and they had the same one like you.
And they like giving examples.
Yeah, they lost their hair after the first chemo. You're not going to make it.
You're going to be black. You're going to change color.
So yes, that's one for me.
Has it been the same?
Yeah, I think it's similar. I think that's the worst I've heard, to say so and so has died
From that
from
same
the
one.
same. Yeah, and I don't think I've taken offense to it. Because of how they say it. Like if someone says, yeah, I know so and so, how they say it shows that someone is trying to comfort you at the same time. So I've never taken offense to that, and it hasn't happened often, but yeah, I've had experience of that.
I asked, there's a lady who lost a child, and someone came, quoted some scriptures, prayed with her, comforting conversation, but said one thing that really put her off. Said, no, don't worry, you make another one.
Oh my
Like, really?
goodness.
That's an offense.
No, that's no.
Hence, I'm saying the language, the tone that we use to comfort people, it has to serve purpose to the person who's going to receive that message. Because if you change your tone, then you're scaring everyone. What's the reason for you to be a motivational speaker? Because we are the source of inspirations to others. It was so hard for me. Remember, there was this girl in the name of Lerato Malaka. You know her.
No, Lerato.
She was so sick, and for me to be an activist of cancer, it has taught me a lot to know different types of cancers and how to deal with them, how to differentiate them, how the danger of them. Like what has killed Lerato, whether we like it or not, she was not going to survive because she had lymphoma. Lymphoma, you don't survive if they say you've got lymphoma. You need to allow them to prepare for your funeral. Honestly speaking, because it eats every organ in your system. So you cannot live without your heart, cannot live without a liver. You understand? So I was so close to Lerato in a sense that few days before she can pass on, she was looking for me. She wanted me to come and see her. I was scared to go and see her. I was saying, no, I'm not feeling well. Can I please speak to her? Then she just talked like, Madam Liso, Macy. Then I said, don't worry, it'll be fine. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Even before her birthday, I did try to speak to her. She was not okay, and her death has touched me so much because we had an event where I have introduced her to people from Korea while I was working for TMZ, and they volunteered to assist her. Unfortunately, she didn't make it, and after that, now my family now starting to die because of cancer. There's this one that has killed my aunt. Bone marrow cancer, of which is started as a small sore at the back. Not knowing that it was going to move towards the brain. Then she died. So we are losing a lot of people whom we love because of others. They don't have information. So for us to be activists, we need to be open books, allow people to read us so that they can have hope.
I must beg to differ when it comes to lymphoma.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of people that has survived it.
Yeah.
Before you.
There has been someone who survived.
Oh yes, I know quite a few. I know 2 people personally that I could, the one is actually now a specialist of mine. She was 19 when she had lymphoma, and then another boy who had actually lymphoma during COVID, right? Yeah. And the same that you said, doctors said with him, there's not much we could do.
Yes, that's
during
what
COVID,
telling us.
But I had the same notion before I met you, because I lost my aunt to cervical cancer, and they call cervical cancer the silent killer.
Yeah, true.
And I think our lives are all ordained to what God had planned even before we were formed in our parents' wombs. But at the same time, early detection can also save your life. So before it gets to that point, then God will obviously decide. I think also one thing that I've learned on my journey is when it comes to, like you said, the lady that was said, your child, you're going to get another child. That's a part of you that you need to heal for yourself, right? I'm not saying that the person was right. I'm not saying that the person was upset, was wrong. But when you easily find that as offensive, it's going to be very hard to fight this battle. Because when you lose your hair, people start making jokes like, "Oh, you look like a man," or you know.
Yeah.
And then I laugh for them. My husband teases me about the fact that I had a double mastectomy. We laugh about it now, you know. But I do understand how for other people that might not be something to laugh about. So definitely different strokes for different folks.
And the other thing, I think even our doctors,
Yeah.
they don't detect it at early stage. You frequent going to the doctor, like Pungi was misdiagnosed, even yourself several times. Then the minute you realize that this is like this, it's too late.
Okay.
So when it's too late, there's nothing that they can do.
Yeah.
That's why they end up saying that if you have lymphoma, meaning you won't be fine.
Yeah.
Because she was. Did you see her in? I think it was Carnival City. That was the last time.
Ulerato.
Yeah.
When I remember seeing her at the TMZ event in Monte Cassino.
Yeah, it was there in Monte Cassino. She even herself, she lost hope. I think that was the thing that has killed her. She lost hope. Remember, lymphoma, when they said it's each and every organ of yourself, the minute it runs to your brain, then amen. So my wish is that I wish people can get information.
Yeah.
We are living in a time where technology is helping us a lot.
Yeah.
You Google and check the side effects of this. I mean, I'm very much careful. When something I don't understand on my health, I go to Google. Google will lead me to the doctor.
I was going to say, stay away from Google because you'll diagnose yourself and die.
Google will lead me to the doctor
dangerous.
because I go to Google and say, these symptoms, I have this and this. And then it will tell me, oh, this is it's normal. You understand? Like now, I say I'm scared of going to the doctor. If I have chest pains, I won't go to the doctor. I won't. Unless maybe unable to see. Then they blindfold me. Then I can go to the doctor. No. I mean, if you've gone through a lot, I cannot expect to die now. I should have died a long time ago. Remember my situation? It was 2004, 2005, 2006. And I didn't want to commit suicide after the ordeal. I didn't want to commit suicide after TB. I didn't want to commit suicide after cancer. I wanted to commit suicide when I developed strongest my whole entire body because it was so painful to bear the pain. So that's why I wanted to commit suicide several times.
What stopped you?
I tried. I remember I took the ARVs. By that time it was a lot. I had running stomach and then stomach cramps.
You were just cleaning your system.
These things are not working.
Detox.
Yeah, it was just detoxing.
I was drinking a lot of water because that was the only thing that I'm supposed to do so that I can flush that out. But I tried several times, and other situations they lead you to do something that you're not intending to do it. I think by that time I had fear in life. If I fail, I see it as a no, man. Why can't I kill myself and then I forget about everything? Forgetting that there's a purpose behind everything. I remember the other time I was working in Durban. I nearly committed suicide because I took a lot of pills. I think I told you, Pungi, I was in Durban saying that my life was not well this side. I took more pills. ARV cannot kill you. It will heal you more.
Just cleaning you.
It will heal you more. I took, I think, 6 or 7 pills. In the morning, they knock at the door. My stomach was like this. It created pancreatitis in me. Then they had to take me to hospital. Then they say I've got pancreatitis, and doctors check me. You've got a lot of stress. Why don't you go home and rest? Instead of taking me to the mortuary. So there's nothing that is going to defeat
dramatic.
me. There's nothing that's going to defeat me in terms of my life. There's nothing that's going to defeat me because people will never know what we went through. If we don't tell. Hence I'm saying we need to be an open book, allow everyone to open each and every page. And then along the way, they will heal by either one of the chapters. One of the chapters. Like Pungi has taught me so long. She has taught me a lot. That's why I don't want to let her go.
There's something you ladies keep saying, and I admire your strength. You just keep talking about purpose and God and your faith. How easy is it for you to go through something like this, get told you have cancer, and know you're going to go through the chemo, and still keep your faith? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking. There's a lot of people that get sick and run around looking for prophets.
Yeah.
and get told in some corners that if you're not getting healed, you're lacking faith.
I think,
How do
yeah.
you guys still
Wanna go?
keep your faith strong?
Let me start with, like, you need to educate yourself about certain things. It's important to not just jump into, because there's a lot of people who are out there to scam people, Sometimes I get very shocked to hear, like, people that you think this person is educated and all of that they decided not to go to the doctor and they decided to go to a sangoma or I'm not saying it's wrong to do that, but if you know what you're dealing with, if you are listening to people like us to say, no, I got cancer, I went through chemo, I got healed or surgery or whatever, and here I am, and God didn't make a mistake by creating doctors, and these professions are not there just for the fun of it, So that's what I'm saying. It's important to educate yourself, to know what you're dealing with. And yes, we going to the doctors, but we still have faith in God that through them, He's working through them to make us whole. So I would advise people to, that's the number one thing, educate yourself. But my faith is unshaken, honestly. I'll pray for my doctors to say, whoever's going to lay hands on me today, they know exactly what they're doing, and I'm going to get healed through that. So,
well, so you never come to a point where you question God to say, but I've been a good girl.
I think in the beginning, that was when it first happened. Like you had mentioned, Macy, I think that, like, why me?
Yes.
What did I do? You start thinking back. Maybe it's this, maybe I did that. But you grow and you understand that this is life. Things happen. It's not always about what you did. God is directing your life, maybe. Take it as that and run with it.
Okay. Shanae?
For me, when it comes to prophet, even God created that prophet. So me, I don't play, I must say I do respect people that are from faith, but I will question you as a human being. I think in advocating for yourself when it comes to doctors and praying for them. I remember when I was diagnosed, my husband had this huge anger, he was just like, how could God allow this to happen to you? Because before this, I did public speaking for women empowerment, and I've always been an activist for rising above your situation. And I was also saved a year before that. And I remember just telling him, God knows why me, because I would not want any of my family members to go through what I'm going through.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember even telling him that even my worst enemy, I don't have many of those, but people that has really hurt me, I wouldn't want someone to feel the way I'm feeling now. And that was just with my diagnosis. That was before the chemo, before I knew what was coming. But I do believe that as humans, we have, like Pungi says, you have this mindset of, if I had ran 5 kilometers extra, maybe, it wouldn't have triggered. If I had eaten healthier, then it wouldn't have happened. However, it's just a point in your life where I always tell God, and I tell my friends and people around me that I feel so fortunate, because I know a lot of people that's going through worse, So the fact that I can wake up and the fact that I can be present with my family. I hear horrible stories about other people fighting cancer, and, I used to say, as long as it hasn't affected my brain yet, I'm fine. Well, it went to the brain, but it affected nothing, So I think just knowing that even God created the prophets, He created the doctors, He created our traditional healers, and He should be our first point of contact. And that is what I believe in personally. So there's nothing and no one that can tell me that in order to heal yourself, you need to go better. You need to go there and there and there. Like I've mentioned, I've lost a lot of family members, and God was, for most of them, always the last resort. So I decided to flip it around.
Hence, I've said earlier that if not you, then who?
Yeah.
So I don't compromise in terms of my health, because Puya has indicated that education is key. you educate yourself, you prepare yourself for anything that might come. So in my situation, I've learned that doesn't mean I don't believe in them. It goes together with belief. I believe a lot in God. God has saved me several times. So for me to be saved, I didn't go to the traditional healer or to a prophet, because I trust their belief, they trust their beliefs, but I don't want to say not for me. But it happens. I think it was 2005. There was this MMC in Swan. I don't want to call her by name. Where she is, she knows that I'm talking about her. She likes me so much. She said to me, "There's this guy is from KZN, Professor what. He stays in Waterkloof. He's selling this 5 liter of water. Then if you buy them, you're going to be healed from HIV." I've seen a lot. That's why I say other situations they teach you a lot. I say as long as she's the one who's buying, that's not me. It's fine. 5 liter was 500.
Yeah.
She wouldn't mind buying 4 for me. They'll come with that blue light car with the driver to come and drop them. Or they'll come and pick me up at home to go and see that guy. Hey, I drank that water every day. When they say this size, I'll just extend it. I'll just extend it, Shani, and
Abundance.
not knowing that I was killing myself indirectly. Remember, I'm taking the ARVs. That 5 liter water, it was cleaning my whole system, every pill in my system. So I went to for checkup review in George Mukari. Then this doctor, her name was Dr. Nancy. My doctors like me a lot because when you talk, they'll say, "Hey, this one is not scared to die." So they checked me, and then realizing that there's no sign of any pill on my system. Then I was so scared. Yes. Then they said, "What were you taking?" I said, "No, nothing. I was taking nothing." They say, "We see that." And remember, by that time, my viral load was undetectable. So viral load was high, CD4 count dropped. They say now we're going to refer you to Pretoria was to go and check for TB. Maybe you've got TB. That's where they found out that I've got TB. Like that medication has revealed everything. So I didn't even confess to that doctor. I don't want to tell you lies. They said to me, "We're going to give you the treatment ARVs. You drink them for 3 months. After 3 months, come back." After 3 months, that 5 liter, I had to get home and throw it away far, far from my home and ensure that I took my treatment the way I was taking it. And in 3 months, then my viral load was coming all right. Yeah, was coming all right. Yeah. And they will tell you that I can heal HIV. This pastor, I don't want to call him by name because it's more popular. Yeah. They said he was coming at TUT. There's an all-night prayer. I don't like. Okay. We don't watch them on TV. They say, "Messi, go." Even my mother said, "Messi, just go, dress warm. If he can touch you." I went there. Yeah, for the whole night, just wanting him to touch me only. It was so cold in the winter. That pastor passed next to me and say, "In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus." When I get home, they said, "If he touches you, go and test." I don't know. I won't go. Even the priests, even the people who are born again, they have HIV. Whether we can shy away from it, they have it. No, if you can touch you, then you are healed. I will never. I myself, for my health, I'll never ever consult to anyone unless talking to God and giving the professionals their go ahead to help me. But other than that, no, not for me. Not for me. Who said I've got drama?
If you can just touch you.
Touch you. And they'll push you like this. If you don't fall, wait for you to fall. If you don't fall, then I have strength.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important to have a one-on-one relationship with God.
Yes.
Don't base it on, if you go to this person, this is gonna happen. It's me and my God.
Yes.
No, pastor, no. You guys can pray for me. It's all good, but
that's what I was gonna say.
It's just me and God.
Yes.
So if you are vulnerable, then you'll be. People can just play around with you and.
I want to pick up on a couple of lessons that you ladies have learned through this journey when you reflect. And one thing I remember when you were talking about your husband, how he supported you. What have you picked up and what advice do you have for families that are trying to support someone who's going through that challenge?
Yeah.
What's the best way to support someone who's going through that challenge? They've been told they have cancer, they're going through the treatment.
Yeah. Support is everything, right? Support is a big part of your healing. If you've got a partner, if you are blessed to have someone, by your side, I can't even equate that to, I don't know. My husband, can I tell you that right now, he's the cook of the house. Since I got diagnosed back then, he took over. Today, how many years later, more than 10 years later, that man is still looking after me like, we had the news yesterday. We prayed together, which was something that we didn't do before, So that brought us closer. And if you don't, I think if it's like from a friend or whatever, it's maybe okay to ask, how can I help you? There's nothing wrong with asking someone, how can I help you? Because like the people that you mentioned, that they will come and just tell you, so
Can hurt you.
It can hurt you. So just ask. You can even offend someone unintentionally. So it's okay to ask the person, how can I help you? So I had support from my husband, from my family. Listen, we changed how we eat, the diet in the house. I'm not saying now we don't eat McDonald's here and there. We still do that, but we are very cautious of what it is that we put in our bodies. And my kids have grown up with that as well, very health conscious and, checking up on each other. Not necessarily just me, but checking up on each other. Are you okay? How are you doing? And so from that, I think that was a blessing that has brought my family together to, that's what cancer did for my family.
I'm still stuck on his cooking.
Oh, yeah. he cooks better than me, right? My kids don't eat when I cook.
It was not the cancer, Choma.
This man didn't cook before. He didn't know how to cook. Eggs was his best thing that he could do.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
Wow. He didn't have the element of, I'm already a celebrity at a national level.
Not at all. Hey, he's never had that. I've never felt that from him ever.
Beautiful.
So yeah, no, absolutely not.
Hi, Siyabonga, Brian.
Yeah.
Jenny, how do we support someone?
I think for me, this is a tough one. I've always been the one to overcompensate when it comes to support. I think if you go through a lot, you want to show up for people. Guys, don't make me cry. But I think I would say this is when you need to realize that this person's life is turned upside down, And coming from my own life, I went from being active, independent, driving myself, all of that. And then so much gets taken away from you within a split second. But I must say, God blessed me with an amazing husband. To my man.
He's here.
Shout out.
Yeah. But I think when it comes to supporting, many people don't know how to support you. I think I'm very vocal with that. If you know me, I will tell you, hey, I have this, I need to do this, I need you to do this. And I also know that our time on earth is very limited. So to any family member or friend of someone that is going through this, I usually speak to a lot of family members and we support them in that way. And the automatic thing for people to do is stay away or to not get into contact, because they would usually tell me, I'm so afraid and I am so scared that I'm going to say the wrong thing. I want you to understand that it's not about you. Just once in your life, when someone goes through something like this, I wouldn't say put yourself in their shoes, but look at it from the outside in. A simple thing is going out to go and clean their house for them, taking them for a drive, If they are used to a certain way of life, maybe supporting them in that way. Like Pungi said, cooking is one thing that people take for granted. We forget to eat a lot of times in our house because of how much is going on, you know. I told you I just came from a doctor's appointment now.
Yeah.
And I have so many other things that's going on. You get home and you see the door and you see the stove and you're like, whoa, yeah, we still need to eat, you know. And I usually tell people, even if you're going to send a 60-60 over there, send a nice note in there. And it's unfortunate that we have to go through this in order for us to see that you need to support people better. So I would say, just as a family member or a friend, asking is not always going to help for everyone. I know Pungi is also one. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. That is our obvious answers. But educate yourself about what it can do. One thing that I loved about my husband throughout my journey is he will sit at work and he'll be on Google and he'll tell me after my treatments, the reason why I picked the closet like 4 times a week was because they do say that small things like that affect your mood, you know. If the house is not clean, like I am a very clean person, then it would frustrate me. And the last thing he wanted is for me to stress about something that he could change. So things like cleaning up, things like making sure that when I would go into my living room, that if I asked for something to be that way, he would have put in that position, because he knows that this is not normal for someone to be this emotional. But one thing that I can tell you about the chemo and the radiation, it comes with a lot of mood swings, you know, and it does change your behavior somewhat. So the fact that he could understand through all of that and not reprimand me or ridicule me for the fact that I was going through something that I didn't understand was another thing that was really just the understanding. Like she said, go and study what that person is going through and maybe educate yourself instead of saying, oh, but my uncle had cancer and he could go to work every day. It's not the same.
Yeah, I think as they've indicated, my friends, that support is very much important. Support is the healing remedy, one way or the other, because even if you feel like being moody, but seeing how one is treating you, it is your pain. I'm just like Pungi. People say I'm spoiled. At home, I'm doing nothing. I don't cook. I cook when I like. Honestly, even cleaning, I clean when I like. My mom will just say, please just wake up and go to work. Leave that on the machine. I don't iron. I don't do wash. I do nothing.
Okay.
I cook when I want. That doesn't mean that I'm too spoiled. It's the way things have changed. They're not pitying me, but they try to show me how do they value me, because they feel if maybe I feel not okay. I say, no, I don't feel okay today. They feel like if I'm going to keep myself busy doing laundry, I'm going to hurt myself. So, and that doesn't make me, I don't do anything at home. No. When I feel like doing it, when I have time, I do it. You know, sometimes I'll feel pity for my mom. She'll come to my room in the evening, bringing coffee, like, I could see that you're waking and it's cold. Here's coffee and the cookies. Then I say, wow. That's why my friends used to say that if my mom can pass on, and that always makes me so emotional. I'll want to go deeper in the grave. Say, please bury me with her, because she's my hope. She's everything that I ever wanted. She's everything that I have, especially my mom and my sister. They have been so supportive. Either way, I remember 2004, after being diagnosed, my younger sister was staying sunnyside in a flat. She nearly threw herself out of the window because she had fear that she's going to lose me, the way HIV was killing a lot of people. Sure. So that is kind of love that I think I'm receiving at home. And also my partner, very, very much supportive, very much supportive in everything that I'm doing. Wow. And my relative, because to them, I'm like gold. When they talk about me with pride. And I must keep on making them proud. I'm making them proud, but I still say I fear death.
You're not like Shanae.
I fear death.
Ladies, what advice or message do you have for someone who receives this diagnosis and feels like it's over for my dreams? and for my life in general?
There's life after a cancer diagnosis. There's definitely life after a cancer diagnosis. You look at us and, it's hope. We don't always want to, we won't want to put down someone to say, oh, what stage are you in, whatever, because those things can really...
Okay.
So mindset, like pun intended, your mindset is everything.
Mindset is everything.
So with that battle won, you are halfway there. What's going to happen tomorrow is something else. But at that moment, just know that there's hope for tomorrow. So I wouldn't even want to take it further than that there's life after cancer.
Yeah, I would definitely say please surround yourself with positive people. This is something that so many people are afraid to say. And the minute you start walking away from things that does not serve you, you will see the bigger picture, because I remember with the first diagnosis, my death was basically mourned, right? And I at that time, I thought, what if it's terminal? What if? And now what's different this time around is just the fact that God is redirecting my footsteps, right? This has always been my purpose. But because I was active, I wanted to be a beauty therapist. I wanted to be a social media, So you direct your purpose and you point to the fact that it doesn't end here. Like Pungi said, there's so much hope. And the more you surround yourself with not only positive people, but with positive structures in your life. Like if you are constantly going to switch on the TV and see people dying from cancer, that would be your mindset, But if you are going to invest in maybe reading a book or maybe speaking to someone, we spoke earlier about prophets, and I want people to understand that as much as people want to sometimes look down on most people, there are people that are put into our lives for a reason. So whether they're going to pray with you, whether they're going to share best practices or just share their testimony, it's very important to surround yourself with that like-minded people. Because if I'm going to go to the graveyard every day, I'm going to end up there. If I'm going to allow myself to look as people like I was at the hospital at ICU today, then I'm going to believe that I will end up back in ICU. So I think with the mindset of speaking to people that's either been through it, because that is very important. If you are going to only depend on people that has not experienced what you're going to experience, you are going to be frustrated. And with frustration comes a switch in mindset, right? So you're going to constantly think negative thoughts. So that is just my take. Surround yourself with positive people and find your faith, I know it's different for everyone.
Positive people, positive structures.
Yes.
I think start by instilling positivity in your mind. Because if you don't instill positivity, the next person whom you'll be talking to won't feel what you are feeling. So if you instill positivity in your mind, even to the next person, the person will instill positivity. Despite watching TV, seeing someone saying, hey, he's dead. No, you tell yourself, not me. Not me. I remember watching the late Vomukona's DVD.
Okay.
While he was in his bed in hospital after the operation. Remember, he died of leukemia, if I'm not mistaken. And he said doctors were writing him off, most of them, saying, you're not going to make it. Then the response was just that, Nyamazu Jehovah.
Okay.
Mina, I'm still saying to everyone that I know who God is.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot in him. And if you instill positivity in you, it's like your footsteps.
Yeah.
With that positivity, someone will look at you and say, no, how did he make it? Will come to you eventually and say, but I'm in this position. Then how did you pull through? Then you take the person throughout. That I managed to be here because of 1, 2, 3. Not saying, which stage are you? 4. I was in 5, 6. Then people start to be scared. That stage 4 is, I was in stage 4.
Yeah.
And I was not even aware after the doctor told me. And people say stage 4, it's a bedridden. I was not bedridden. I was not bedridden. I was not bedridden. Remember, our situations, they crafted the people we are today.
Yeah.
After being diagnosed with HIV, my CD4 count was 27. Imagine 27. They say 27, you're supposed to be wearing a pampers. I told them, no, my bums are so comfortable to see them in a pampers. I cannot. So you must not allow yourself to be defeated by you.
Yeah.
Fight back.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you don't know what you went through, guys. You remember, just imagine me wearing a pampers, telling me left and right, come this side, come that. I don't want to see myself being in bed because of these 3 illnesses, HIV, cancer, TB. No. I'd rather die of maybe accident or maybe something different, but not them. I've told my mind like that.
This has been beautiful, ladies. I think as we close, I'll give you an opportunity each to spread your message of awareness to whoever you want to spread it to.
Am I?
You're the driver.
Early detection is key.
This goes out to, the message goes out to someone who is...
If you've been diagnosed or if you haven't been or you are
Not
just
sure.
on a health journey, generally, just look after your health.
Okay.
Because you never know if it's going to happen to you or not. I didn't think I was going to get sick ever because for me, cancer was for old white people. I was young, I was black, like, there's no way it's going to happen to me, right? So let's not be ignorant and think it will not happen to us. So why I say early detection is be aware of your body. Know your body. When you see changes, I know Martina spoke about Google. I say go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. They'll diagnose you, like proper diagnosis, and you'll know for sure, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. And the earlier you pick up something abnormal, the earlier it can be diagnosed, treated, and hopefully healed. So early detection for me is the most important thing. And I'll just repeat what they've said about a positive mindset. That's definitely my message for...
Wow, thanks, Jenny.
Advocate for yourself, babes. You know your body best. Doctors in this industry has obviously tried and tested a few things, but I always tell people that your case is rare. I remember them telling me, you are too young, you are too fit, because they have this tick list when you go in. Do you smoke? Yes. Do you drink? Yes. And most of it was no for me, right? So doctors basically based my diagnosis of face value and the fact that I was not doing most of the things that does cause cancer. I have an amazing professor, Prof. Ben, one of the best in, I would say, the world. And she always says that, like Pungi said, you go back and you think to yourself, what could I have done differently? The point is, you're going to advocate for yourself. There's a reason why I had to go back 5 times. And getting to the diagnosis was not easy. Like I said the last time, even if you have to answer questions to people that are constantly asking you, if the doctor is saying no, why are you going back? You know your body. If the doctor says within 2 weeks this medicine should work, if 2 weeks it didn't work, you go back, And I believe that has saved my life on so many levels. Again, just going back to my spirituality, it has to come from the fact that God also pushes me, the Holy Spirit pushes me to be that irritating person that would either change my doctors if my doctor says it's nothing to stress about. So I'm heavy on advocating for yourself. If they're going to say that you are looking for something, that's fine. But do not Google, please, guys. It's outdated.
No, my friends differs with me. I Google because I'm scared of going to the doctor. That's the reason. But as of today, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the right thing.
Thank you.
They've said you surround yourself with people who will uplift you when you're down. They have indicated that healthy living lifestyle plays a major role in our lives. And I want to direct this to to everyone who is in our situation, that there's still life after cancer, as they've indicated. But I have my aunt who I think she's got fear of the unknown, because she has lost all her sisters due to cancer. And the one who's left, she had an operation of breast removal, and now she's the one who's left, and she doesn't have any signs of cancer. So I just wanna plant hope to her that Manititi, wherever you are, everything happens for a reason, and miracles do happen. You may find that everyone is going to die of cancer, then you won't die of cancer. You'll be a living testimony. So I want to instill hope in her, because every time when I look at her, I get so emotional, because she's got fear and she never went there. Like, you fear something that is not in you, and you don't know it. So she'll frequent going to the doctor for checkup. So I just want her to relax her mind and say that God has a reason for everything. Let me sit and pray, and I know she's a praying woman. Miracles do happen. You may find that she will never even have even a single touch or even symptom of cancer, and she's loved.
She will appreciate that message very much. Yeah. Thank you, ladies. This has been amazing.